Yeah.
Your show
Hold
now.
on, y'all.
Press
We
1 to hear important
this thing
instructions.
looking.
Press.
This
It's
thing
okay.
looking
We're
and
calling
feeling
back
a
into
little
the live
choppy.
show. We are reconnecting you
It's
now.
looking and feel a little choppy, y'all. Let's get it right. Let's break it down. Everything is gonna be all right. We wearing the crown. I'm down like the submarine, keeping sneaks clean. Make sure that the teeth gleam. And up every time on the scene it gets hot. I'm doing this thing, whether you like it or not. I got a lot to give, and this time we're going to talk about the competition. We're gonna make sure we on this mission. Do you really want it enough to do a tryout? No, calling your bluff. Word. Today on the Urban Therapy with Sun Show, we are talking about when you have to do a tryout. When you have to do a tryout, have you ever wanted something or entered into a situation where you had to qualify in order to have something? We do it for jobs all the time, but when we do it for personal situations, what we do when we do a tryout or an audition for love, for friendship, for partnership, would we participate in a tryout where we would have to beat out all the competition in order to be with somebody or have something that somebody had for us or that we wanted? Well, we probably silently do it every day of our lives, but would we do it unsolicited? When you set goals for yourself, when you have standards for yourself, when you have things out there that you want and that you need, and you know things that aren't readily available for you, do we expect to get those things just by a personal qualification, or do we put ourselves in a position where we have to eliminate the competition? What we're going to talk about today on this Saturday, and it feels good. I'm glad to be here. And we around the way in the hood, and we make sure that it's understood that we the best, and we gonna do this. You're right now. You're none contests, and I am the best. I think I am, and I beat out the rest of the competition. They ran scams. I'm better than them. They not better than me. We going to put the things on the table, and we'll see who's going to get that crown, who's going to get that belt, who's going to get that. You know what I'm talking about? It's felt. And I'm here to say that we're going to talk about some competition today. Would you compete for love? Would you make you give a tryout, or would you beat everybody out? Well, would you? Have you? Have you? We're going to talk about it today. Today on the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. When you have to do a tryout, people like sports, should I say athletes, understand this. In order to get on teams that they have wanted to get on, they have had to do tryouts every single time. Even those who have been so good in sports, in their respective sports, that they have been recruited, drafted by professional sports teams. So they've been doing tryouts their whole lives, time after time after time. Every time they make a team, they're pretty much trying out for another team. They're trying to get to the next level, the next tier, going up, because there are professional implications that come with that. And when I say professional implications, what I mean by that is, well, the word profession or professional means that you get paid. I don't know if everybody knows that, but I'm here to let you know. When we talk about somebody being a professional, we mean that they get paid for whatever they do. So you can be a professional without being an expert. A lot of people think that because you are a professional, they think that the word professional means that you are really good at what you do. And it can mean that you are really good at what you do. But what it really means is that you are good at what you do and you get paid for what you do. So whatever it is that you do, once you start getting paid for it, that makes you a professional. Now there are other things that come along with professionalism that make you deserve to get the pay that you may be asking for. But but when we talk about sports celebrities, though they have been trying out for teams all of their career, since the time when they were young and just trying to establish themselves as being a formidable foe on the field or on the court, or whatever sport that you played. So they're not turned off by having to try out. They figure, well, it doesn't matter if I have to try out. I'll try out and I'll beat out the competition just like I always have. I'll be number one just like I always was. I'll make it happen just like I always do. But when you haven't been an athlete or an actor, actress, musician, performing artist, when you haven't been in that space where you have to size up the competition, get a scouting report, and devise a strategy to be able to beat out everybody who is in front of you, who may be better than you, as skilled as you are, or just have some type of pull that you may not have. There's a lot that goes into it. So when you are an athlete or performing artist of some type, then you're used to having tryouts. You're used to having to compete with others. You're used to having to prepare in order to get something that you want. You understand what's at stake, and you have decided that, yep, I'm with it. I'm worthy. I can do this, and I will do this. Let's have at it. In our personal lives, it starts to be a little different. You may not want to or feel the need to have to beat out anybody that may be competition to you. And you're like, what do you mean I have to do a tryout to be with you? Yeah, I mean, you fine and all, but I don't, listen, if you don't want to be with me, I don't want to be with you. That's what we say. Ain't that what we say? That ain't always true. That's not always true. Somebody in our relationship history we have wanted to be with initially, we have wanted to be with them, not knowing if they wanted to be with us. If you really think about it, that's what wanting to be with somebody is all about. You don't know if they want to be with you. You want to make them want to be with you. You size up the competition. You may have been eyeballing somebody for a good minute, like, oh, he seems to have a thing for her, and she seems to have a thing for him. And you look at what they type might look like. Oh, that's their type. That's what they like, huh? The same way, if the apple of their eye or the person that they're with is somebody that is quote unquote beneath you, like not as good looking as you are, not as well rounded and put together as you are, not as good of a dresser and as polished as you are. You're like, oh shoot, if you go for if she goes for that, well, wait till they get a load of me. So you don't mind a tryout when you know that you're already better than everybody else. But what about when the competition is fierce? What about when the competition is stiff? What about when the foes are formidable? What about when winning ain't guaranteed? Like, yo, everybody want this chick. And the guys that's going after her, I could kind of see how I could lose this fight. Now you got to decide, do I really want to be in this fight? She may not have asked you to do this tryout. You may have volunteered. I'm trying out. Do we have open tryouts? Is she single? Is she single? Are there open tryouts here? Is she looking for a man? Because if she is, I'm the man she should be looking for. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Our ego kicks in when somebody deems us less than worthy. When we already know that we are better than everybody else. Oh yeah, all right. It's like a cat competing with a mouse. Oh, I know I can beat this mouse. A bigger challenge would be not to kill the mouse because they frail. But when it's another cat, it's like, this cat here got a big meow. And from what I understand, he done scratched a few up. So for me to get on the back of that kitty over there, you know how cats, they hit it from the back. For me to get with that kitty, I'm going to have to do something. So you understand what I'm saying? Like, when you have to do a tryout, it can work on our ego. Our pride might be at stake. When we are either asked to try out, or when we feel like we have no other choice to get something that we want but to try out. So we might have to get our weight up. I mean, we can resent the fact all we want, but the facts are the facts. Just the facts, man. Just the facts. Let's get into it. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Saturday from 1:30 p.m. till around 3-ish. And the reason that we say 3-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And this is a Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I am your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feel like real men and women should also. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Let's get this thing popping. Today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we talking about when you have to do a tryout. What happens when you have to do a tryout? What you know? What do you know about preparing for an audition? What do you know about making sure that you know all of your lines? What do you know about making sure that your presentation is up to par? What do you know about sizing up the competition and deciding that you definitely are able to get past this round of the playoffs? What you know about that? We know about it when it's orchestrated for us to know about it. But what do you know about it in your personal life? What do you know about it when somebody doesn't exactly ask you to do it, but you know that it's implied? Do you go along with those implications? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Who has a husband or a wife who ain't never had to compete with nobody else? You mean to tell me you got with your husband or your wife and you ain't have to clear the playing field? Even your own playing field. Did somebody have to audition for you? Did somebody have to try out for you? Not necessarily that you were involved with somebody else or had your eye on somebody else, but it's possible. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. So what happens? What happens when somebody is so good looking, so well put together, got it going on so much that you have to make sure that you are better than everybody else in order to get with her or him? I tell you what, your ego may be out of whack when you have to compete against somebody else, but I bet you don't feel no kind of way when other people have to compete with you, when other people are sizing you up, when you already got the crown, when you already have the belt, when you already are hoisting up the trophy. When somebody has to beat you out, I bet you don't feel no kind of way about it. Like, in order to beat me out, you're gonna have to be real great. As a matter of fact, why don't you just respect the fact that I'm the champ? I got this right now. When you have to do a tryout, what you know? I tell you, when you know that you have been part of a tryout. Let's say you are not sure if you're in a relationship yet. It feels like you're in a relationship, but you might not be sure. There has been no declaration that you're in a relationship. And you know how you know that you're not definitely in a relationship? When you have already been kicking it with somebody. Y'all been going out, having long walks and talks, have even been doing the nasty already. But you have to ask them, are you seeing anybody else besides me? You done already done pretty much done everything that everybody who's in a relationship does, but you haven't had a declaration of being in that relationship. So you ask them, are you seeing anybody else? Women normally ask if you're seeing anybody else because they want to make sure that since y'all already been having unprotected sex, I ain't talking about y'all who always have protected sex. I'm talking about for the ones who, are now having unprotected sex. Women want to make sure that, you ain't potentially bringing her no nasty little situations. It's not uncommon, or it's not unreasonable for her to want to make sure that she's protected herself after the fact. But nonetheless, if the answer is yes, yeah, well, I still talk to this one or that one. Like, it's going to change the whole dynamic of the relationship, because it's going to be like, well, why didn't you tell me that before? Or when you have to ask, what are we doing exactly? Like, what are we doing in this relationship? What are we, what are we? What am I to you? Well, like, when somebody asks you about me, what do you say? To me, that lets me know, or it should let you know, that you've been in a tryout. You just want to know, have you qualified? All right, so we here. I did everything to qualify for this job, for this position, for this. Yeah, let's call it jobs and positions. I've done everything. You know, you like the way I walk, you like the way I talk, you like the way I feel, you like the little things that I do. You like, you like all the accoutrements, you like all of the condiments that I put in. You like the sauce. You like the sauce that I put on the food. And you've been eating the food. But is this your favorite restaurant? Hmm? Just like the apps on your phone or your devices. They always ask you, how would you rate this app? Well, that means that they have been auditioning to be one of your favorite apps. There's a financial motive behind what they're asking you. So in your personal life, it gets a little choppy about this whole tryout thing. All right, man, what you mean I got to try out for you? What you mean? But look, if you like the other boy, well, be with the other boy. That's what your mouth say. But what your brain is saying, what your heart is saying is, I can't believe that, the joint been entertaining me all of this time. And come to find out she's still messing with the boy. Or she like the, like, yeah, men go through it too. A lot of men welcome the competition. I'm just being honest. A lot of women do too. But I'm gonna concentrate on the men just for this part right here. A lot of men have been taught that this is the way it go. If you want the girl, you got to do the things in order to get the girl. And I mean really get the girl. I don't mean just get her to notice you, but in order to secure that bag of girl. In order to secure the girl bag, you got to do what them other dudes ain't going to do. You're going to have to treat her nice. Show her some attention. Spend a couple of dollars. Show her that she can have a future with you. Be responsible. Do the things that you say you're going to do. Follow up. Because these other knuckleheads out here ain't gonna do that. They ain't trying to do nothing but get between her legs. You want to get between her legs too, but you want to stay between her legs. So you got to get these playboys out of the way. You got to give her something that she can feel. A lot of men understand that. A lot of men understand it. They accept it. They've been brought into the fold. They granddaddy taught them that. They daddy taught them that. They uncles taught them that. They old heads told them that. I'll be real with you. I ain't never talked to no old head. And I'm being honest about this. And I think it's intriguing. I've never talked to any old head, blood related or not, that told me in order to keep your woman, all you got to do is dick her down real good. I ain't never had no man tell me that. But somehow these young boys and people in my generation, we actually think that's true. Yeah, once you piping them right, if you piping them correctly, they ain't going nowhere. They can't find another pipe like yours. But the old heads don't talk like that. They like, nah. And I know it ain't because none of these old heads was piping them right. I know for a fact that wasn't the case. You feel me? So, because my ancestors never told me that that's all you got to do, and I'll be real with you. Even my old head women, they never said, yeah, the way that your father got me, or the way that any man got me was once they got me in bed, they had me where they wanted me. I ain't never heard no old head woman say that. So although that's a sex is an element of a relationship that is an important piece, most people recognize that you're going to need more in order to get it popping and keep it popping. Right? So women put themselves in competition with other women in order to get men all the time too. If I'm going to talk about the men, I have to talk about the women too. Why you think so many women, use so many different accessories in order to make themselves look attractive? Whether we're talking about the weaves, whether we're talking about the wigs, whether we're talking about the eyelashes, whether we're talking about the makeup, whether we're talking about the clothing, whatever it is that women think that men want and will attract men, That's what they're going to do. They may not want all of the men, but they want to make sure that they can get the man that they do want. So I've also heard women who said, yeah, in order to get a good man, you got to show that you're a good woman. Well, that sounds like you understand what the competition is like out there, because you're already acknowledging that every woman ain't a good woman. There's some women out there that are just serviceable women. And because there's so many more women out here than there are men available, most women know that they're going to have to do something besides just shake their ass or open their mouth or get on their knees or lay on their back, because you don't do that up front anyway. Well, not all women do. Some women do, but you know what I mean. Even the women that do, there's a conversation first. It ain't like you can just go walk up to a woman, push her, lay her down, and her legs just fly open like, oh, okay, you got me. That would be an interesting world if it did happen like that. It would be interesting. But women get it. They know when their man is a desirable man. They know when he's strapping and handsome and makes good money and he's responsible and he's a good catch. They know. And they know that they're not the only one who knows. They get it. So they know that they're going to have to do something in order to secure that bag of man, in order to secure the man bag. But what if he straight up told her, in order to be with me, I need you to eliminate Latifah and them, Kiana and them. Some women might do it. I mean, when it comes down to it, there are very little limitations of what we'll do in order to get something that we really want. The internet has us thinking that the things that we want just fall into our lap magically. But in real life, we know better than that. We know way better than that. We know way better. TK Wright says, I'm trying out for a relationship. Really? Okay. What's up, Stacy White? What's going on, my brother Ansel Jones? Thanks for coming through, my brother Ansel Jones. Oh, TK Wright with the super sticker. Thank you. With the super sticker. I appreciate you in the super sticker. Ansel says people are raised different. Values have changed. Have they really? I think expectations have changed. I'm not sure if the values have changed, but we can talk about it. TK Wright says good piping ain't a bad start though. Well, that says Pippin. Piping is Piping, but but I get it. Stacy says when you're in a relationship, you got to have boundaries. Okay. Ansel says I'm an 80s baby. Everyone on the block knew what the children were doing. What was they doing? Because I think 70s, I think 70s and 60s kids was nastier than 80s babies. When 80s babies came along, that's when That's when grown-ups started issuing all of these rules and regulations. They start making all of these laws. The 60s and 70s, babies, we was doing the oochie coochie. 80s babies ain't never get a chance to do the oochie coochie. I mean, think about it. Y'all wasn't doing the oochie coochie. TK Wright says, I'm not trying out, is what it was supposed to say. Okay. I thought you was She says 70s babies were born with aphrodisiacs in our system. It's real. But in the 60s and 70s, babies was doing the oochie coochie. You know, 80s babies wasn't doing the oochie coochie. They was doing the nasty. They got a chance to do the nasty, but they didn't get a chance to do the oochie coochie. There's a difference. There's a difference. Shout out to all my 80s babies. I ain't mad at none of y'all. But y'all don't know nothing about the oochie coochie. Like, there's a different level of freakdom. So what we talking about? When you have to do a tryout, why does having to compete or try out or audition for something or somebody that we want, why does it work on our ego so hard? Why is it such a turnoff for us to hear about having to do that when we willingly do it in a lot of different areas? I mean, this might not sound like a good example to y'all, but plenty of y'all play the lottery. The lottery ain't a real competition, but choosing them numbers, a lot of y'all employ a strategy in order to choose the right numbers or the numbers that you think will win you the lottery. It's all based on random luck. So they say, but in your mind, you like, nah, I gotta do something in order to get this in order to win this lottery. I gotta choose the right numbers. There's something mystical about it, something spiritual about it, something divine. Shout out to all the mothers and the grandmothers that used to buy them dream books. They used to have them dream books and lottery books right by the checkout line in the markets. Remember all them joints? My mom used to get all of them. My mom, man, talk about being superstitious. She about that life. She was about that life. That's the only reason I know what a dream book is. What's a dream book? It's a book of dreams. I got a dream. But yeah, man, so when we start talking about having to do a tryout, why are we so offended by somebody letting us know, if you want to be with me, you got to have a wait, I'm not saying it right. You got to have a J-O-B if you want to be with me. No romance without finance. No romance without finance. Some of us understand it. And we've been accepted it. But we don't want to say, we don't want anybody to say or command us to have to comply. Yeah, I mean, we don't want anybody to tell us what we got to do in order to be with them. Like, because we like, who is you? Who is you to tell me that I got to do this before I get with you? To tell me that I have to qualify in order to be with you. But you were probably already doing everything that it took to qualify before. So, yeah, we were probably already personally and secretly eliminating the competition. But when somebody brought it all to the forefront and told us that we had to eliminate the competition, we probably clammed up and stiffened up and balked at it. Like, whoa. Slow down, baby. Slow down, baby. Hmm. When you have to do a tryout, make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. If y'all would like to call into the show, add in your 2 cents, speak your piece, diss, praise, comment, talk ish. I invite y'all to call in, and the number to call is area code 319-527-6199. That's the number to call. I said a 319-527-6199. Yes, y'all. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get on the line. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get your shine, baby. 319-527-6199. Excuse me, press number 1, and that will let me know that you would like to speak, and then I will call you out by the last 4 digits of your telephone number. We're talking about when you have to do a tryout. When you have to do a tryout. Are you with it? Are you with it? It looks like we have a call on the line. Caller with the last numbers 4828. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind this afternoon on a Saturday? What's good?
Long time, brother. How are you?
I'm feeling like a real man should. I mean, like really, like. What's good with you?
Everything. I'm just reading the description for your show. One of the things I noticed is that you asked, would you see the benefit of it, of trying out for a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't see the benefit of it. To me, it's like it's almost like, how can I put this? If they're asking you to try out for it, which is something that happened to me before, it makes you feel like whatever you're working with isn't good enough for them.
Mm-hmm.
And in my, and in my world, if whatever I'm working with isn't good enough for you, then whatever I'm working with is never really going to be good enough for you, and you're always going to feel like you can be like, nah, you need to do more so that you can be with me. And I don't want to feel like I'm like I have to keep doing more and more and more, or else you're going to go someplace else.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I don't see the benefit of it.
Okay. And that's a understandable position, honestly. But with this subject and with so many subjects, sometimes we have to look a little deeper into it than what's on the surface. You know, like a lot of things with me personally, when I take my ego out of things, it allows me to see things a little bit clearer. When my ego is into it,
Mhm.
I don't see very many things clear, you know, because I'm looking through it through the lenses of my ego, which 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 is speaking more to how I feel about myself and how I want to feel versus what I'm actually doing and practicing. You know, we compete to get new jobs all the time. And we understand that competition. We totally
Yeah.
get it. We know that we have to apply, you know, put our experiences on the application, on the resume, cover letter, things like that. We have to interview well. We have to qualify in order to make the company that we want to work for make money. We have to qualify in order to prove that we can make money for somebody more better than somebody else can. And we have no problem with it because it's an understood thing. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. If somebody else is better than you, we're going to pick them. If you're not good enough, and we are going to scrutinize you heavily, if you're not good enough, then we are not going to hire you. You cannot make money for us. Now, if you put your ego in that situation, like, what do you mean I can't make money for you? Yes, I can. And I shouldn't have to ask you to make money for you. But we don't we check our ego when it comes to getting jobs. We check
Not
our
me.
we
Mm-mm.
I'll bet that you
Mm-mm.
do. I'll bet that you
When I
do.
go into the, I
Mhm.
when I go into I've literally never not been offered the job because when I go in, I say I let them know I'm it.
Mhm.
Whatever it is that you were looking for, I'm it. And yes, you do agree.
Okay.
I go in with a big ego, but that being said, I'm not applying for jobs that I can't walk into that room and feel that way.
But nonetheless, you've completed the tryout. Now, just because you've done the work beforehand, you still agree to the tryout. The tryout was the application.
Yes,
The tryout was
that's true.
the tryout was the resume. The tryout was
Okay.
the interview. The tryout was the offer. The tryout was the callback.
Yes, I was only addressing the ego, the part that you mentioned with as far as the ego.
Well, you did
That's what I was addressing.
well, in my opinion, you
You
did
said you said I bet you don't go into you said I bet you don't go into the job interview with without checking your ego.
I think that I stand by that. You did check your ego. You didn't
Okay.
come in there and tell them you didn't tell them you didn't go in there and tell them that you already have the job. You didn't tell them that they better hire you. You didn't go in there with the uniform already on. You checked your ego. You did everything up front that they asked you to do in order to present yourself. Had you not done any of those things, you wouldn't have got a chance to even present yourself. So you checked your ego.
And are you saying that's what we should do in a relationship,
Well, what I'm saying is
or
that's what
that we do that without thinking about it?
we do that. We do that in we do that where it's understood in some areas, but in our personal lives, then we take our ego out of it. Like when a job says, in order to get this job, you have to have all of these things for this tryout. We say, okay, I'll do that. But when it comes to love, when it comes to companionship, when it comes to friendship, if we tell them like, listen, in order to be my girl, I need you to do this, that, and the third, or in order to be my man, and this is what you got to do. This is what I need. And we like, what you mean? Me just being me ain't good enough for you? Oh, all right, then I holler. Some people say, all right, then I holler. And some people say, they do a little audit about how much they want to be with somebody. It's easy to turn down something that you don't want. It's real easy to do that. But when it comes to something that you do want, now you have to do a little mental wrangling. Like, well, how much do I want it? Sometimes you have to ask yourself, do I really want it? Shout out to Savoy Wilkes with the super sticker. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Listen, man, y'all ever since they came out with this super chat thing, y'all been representing. I really, really, really appreciate it, y'all. You know what I mean? My piggy bank looking right now. You know what I mean? I've been doing this show for all of these years, and I've spent way more money than I care to think about. You know what I'm saying? But y'all make it worthy. I mean, y'all make me seem worthy. Let me see. Y'all make it worth it. Y'all make it seem worth it just to be able to do this because I enjoy it personally. But y'all definitely I just appreciate y'all. That's it's wonderful. It's very rewarding. Y'all make this very, very, very rewarding. And TK, right? Okay. Super chat. I ain't trying out for shit. I ain't trying out for shiznit, she says. Well, yeah, well, I'm sure that she's probably tried out for some shiznit somewhere along the line. But yeah, like I said, it's really easy to turn down something that you don't want. When it comes to something that you do want, you have to sort of decide how bad you want it and what you would be willing to do it. And if you get it, is it really worth everything that you did? Like, I don't know. Have you ever had to ask yourself if you really wanted something that you know that you really wanted? Like, like, okay, I know I want it, but do I really want it? Yeah. I know I really want it, but do I really, really want it? Because the question comes is like, okay, yeah, you want it, or you really want it, or you really, really want it, but do you want it, and really, really want it enough to do what is required in order for you to have it? Because you might still want it, but you're not willing to do certain things in order to get it. Now you've placed a worth value on whatever it is that you want it, or really, really want it. And it's and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's wrong to feel this way or to do these things. I'm not saying that at all. But we have to check ourselves in everything that we do. This is nothing but human experience that we're talking about. That's all. But there's so many things that we do on a day-to-day basis, but when we're called to the carpet about it, sometimes we say, I wasn't doing that. That's not what I was doing. Sometimes we say we're not doing it because that wasn't our intention to do it. Like when somebody tells us that we're hurting someone or hurting something. So that's not what I was meaning to do. I was only, trying to do this. It doesn't take away from the fact that somebody might be walking around in a sling because of what you did. Or whatever the case may be. But yeah, when it comes to money, there are a lot of things that we will do. We will accept competitions, auditions, and things like that in order to get a couple of dollars. But there's some things to us that are worth as much as money or worth more than money. And sometimes we agree to auditions about that too, except when it's solicited. When somebody is asking us to do it on command, it's like, oh, now hold on now. Hey, how about this? How about this here? Have you ever done something for somebody and you was already doing nice things for them? God damn it. the wheel on the back of my chair was caught on the on a little rug plastic thingy. I'm like, I got the rug plastic thing so I could roll freely. Yeah. Anyway, so have you ever been doing something nice for somebody unsolicited, and then when they wanted you to make some adjustments to it, it was like, you know, like you looked at it like they were looking a gift horse in the mouth, like I was already kind of yeah and kind of no. You know, from that person's point of view, you might have been doing something nice for them or giving them something nice that they didn't really, maybe they liked it, but they didn't really need it, or they didn't like it that way. It's sort of like, let's say you bring in a sandwich for somebody every day. Like, I like to take care of my people. I bring you a sandwich every day. But you never ask them what kind of sandwich they like. So you bringing them turkey every day. They're like, I don't really like turkey that much. I don't really like the way that they're raised. I don't like the way that they're killed and all that. I'd rather have a roast beef. You like, I'm bringing you turkey sandwiches I'm bringing you a sandwich. Look, it's better than nothing. You're right. But something that I don't want is not better than nothing. Something that I don't want and I'm not going to eat, or something that doesn't benefit me is not better than nothing. It's nothing. It's equal to nothing. It's like multiplying something by 0. Mm-hmm. Now I appreciate your gesture, but you can stop the gesture. I'm not saying that to hurt your feelings, but I don't want to waste your time and your effort. If all you have is turkey to bring me and I'm not going to eat the turkey, then I would implore you to stop making me the turkey and bringing me the turkey. No hard feelings, really. No disrespect. So it can kind of feel that way when it's like, okay, you're already doing something for somebody, but now they're asking you to make an adjustment to what you're doing. Well, is it okay? Does the let me just ask you this: Does the receiver of the gifts have no rights? Do they have no say so in what they receive? Like, yo, you just take what you get.
They do. They do. I was teasing when they gave my answer.
I know. I thought you was probably just playing around,
but some people will be very, very offended if you say, "Thank you, but I don't eat pork." And they're like, "Oh, well, you're gonna have to eat what I gave you, or nothing else." Like they're like, "Oh, well, well, I'm not at a restaurant. I'm not taking orders." Stuff like that. They'll get really offended.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, at what point does it stop being a tryout, right? So, like, that's what I need to know. At what point does it stop being a tryout? Because I'll be damned if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I'm always feeling like I'm at tryouts. The hell? But that has happened to me before, where somebody who I was just dating. Well, I was dating this person, and it was, we were talking about, it being exclusive, but I couldn't do it because I felt like it was always a tryout. I don't want to do that.
Now I agree.
At what point does it stop?
Yeah, I think that the tryout should only be if you're going to have to do a tryout, it should be only in the initial stages. I mean, think about it.
Now that makes sense to me. Makes sense to me.
Well, yeah.
Because to me, it's not even a tryout. That vetting is I believe we don't take enough time to vet as we're getting in these, and not these days, as we're getting into these new relationships, which is why they're failing left and right. Um, but I feel like vetting, when you're vetting in a relationship, it is trials, and so that I understand. It's when you're making someone feel as if they still have to, like they're never out of the tryout stage, and you're supposed to be in a relationship. Like, at what point does it stop?
Yeah, if you already secured your spot, there's no more tryout. There are other words to describe that, but tryout ain't one of them. Teams have tryouts. Sometimes they have, closed tryouts and they have open tryouts. Some teams do. That's it. Once you make the team, you're not trying out anymore. You made the team. Now, if somebody is bringing in other people to compete for your spot, then you might be embroiled in a quarterback controversy or something like that. But that ain't no tryout. That other person was trying out for your spot. You're not trying out to keep your spot. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I said, there are different. There's a different terms or different terms. There's a different term or different terms to describe when you're constantly being called to keep your spot. But that ain't no tryout. That's what it ain't. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't condone that. I'm talking about when you initially want to, secure a spot. Would you accept a tryout? Sometimes we do it consciously, sometimes we do it subconsciously. Sometimes we do it subconsciously, consciously. Well, they ain't asked me to do this, but look, I know I want this thing and I gotta get rid of everybody else know to get it. But I'm gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's different than saving up enough money in order to go buy an item. That's not a tryout. Because anybody can do what you just did. They made enough of them in order for you to go, but they made enough of them for you to be able to go and buy one. But when we talking about when you're trying to get one thing from one person in one place and only one person can have it, well, yeah, you might be embroiled in a competition. Sometimes open, sometimes silent, but nonetheless, when you're competing. Now, if somebody wants to stay involved in a situation where they're constantly having to compete for something that they have already supposed to have secured, well, God bless them. I don't know too many people who are willing to put up with that. That's like some old olive oil and Popeye shit. That ain't cool.
Listen. Nope, it sure isn't. That's why I was like, sign here and here. I'm sorry, that was referencing divorce. But I'm not even. I'm sorry.
Well,
that's really what it felt like.
Let me ask you this, though.
I was like, didn't I win the prize already?
I mean, it's a valid question.
What's your question?
Okay. The question I have is, do you agree or would you agree that in a relationship that's headed towards marriage, would you agree that the courtship or the relationship is the audition or the tryout for marriage?
Oh. Well, how do you, like, when you say a relationship headed toward marriage, you mean they said that I want to marry you, or like, I don't know. First of all, yes.
Yeah. Yes. I'm saying like
it is. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about it as I'm thinking about equal, because okay, so I guess that would be in the beginning, there would be tryouts. Then you get into the relationship, and then um, I guess the next time there would be tryouts. Uh, for the team, that it would be that would be probably a silent tryout though.
Maybe not so.
I
Maybe
think
not
that
so
would be
silent. Maybe not so silent.
I don't know.
Well, let me tell you
I
what I
think
was
for some
thinking.
people it would be silent tryouts, or either way it is tryouts because if you're serious about somebody and that's the direction that you guys want to go in, you know, as somebody who's been married before, I would want to know that whoever I chose, I chose to be with in that manner, on that level, um, would have certain characteristics.
Hmm.
And there's only one way to know that, and that's through experience.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I look at before you get with a person, before y'all start dating and you know getting into a steady relationship, an exclusive relationship. They'll probably tryouts before then in order to get with each other. Getting with each other is not as easy as people make it seem. Sometimes you have to eliminate some static, and you know what I'm saying. Like there can be things, there can be communication barriers that can stop the two of you from being able to get on a level to where as you can become harmonious with each other and satisfied with each other. Sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
when you get into a relationship, you don't always know exactly where it's going to go. Now, as you start to
Mm-hmm.
fall in love with each other, start to spend more time with each other, start to depend on each other, you might start thinking like, yeah, I want to, I kind of want to lock this down. This is something that I think I could deal with for the rest of my life. Maybe you hadn't felt that way before. Some people feel that way a lot faster than other people feel. But but with people running around saying that in order to keep somebody, you got to keep doing the same things that you did in order to get them. You got to remember the things that you did to get them in order to keep them. That's what people say a lot. So that to me that
Mm-hmm.
sounds like a if you want to marry somebody, or if you have the goal of marriage in your relationship repertoire, or in your relationship plans, then it makes sense to me that with so many people saying, I would do this for my husband or I would do this for my wife, but I ain't going to do this for my girl. It sounds to me like, well, your girl or your man is the audition or tryout stage. Like if you're a
Mm-hmm.
bad girlfriend, a man would have to be a fool to think that you're going to be a good wife. And I guess we know that there are plenty of fools out there. Same thing with a woman. If he's a bad boyfriend, what are the chances that he's going to be a good husband? So now sometimes for our own purposes, we take the shot, but it doesn't mean that certain people got past the tryout. We know that going back to sports, some people have tried out. Going back to entertainment, some people have auditioned and they weren't as good. But you know what happened? They either knew somebody or guess what? They had the look that they were looking for. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Yes, this is a better actor than that one is, but that one is a serviceable actor and has the look. That one doesn't have the look. Not for this film. So, yes, they killed that audition. And if this was a cartoon, we would definitely let them do the voiceover. But for this movie, we're going to have to get this one ready because that's the one who has the look. Or that's my cousin. So this audition was really just a formality. We already knew who we was picking. Happens all the time. It's somewhere happening right now. Somewhere in New York right now. Somebody is standing in front of the camera, reading their lines and killing it. And they ain't getting picked. They ain't getting no call back. And somebody is flubbing the lines. And they getting that call back. What are you doing next? Will you be available? What's your availability for Tuesday the 20 this that 3rd? You know what I'm saying? Like,
hold on. I did get in because you know I went to music and art, but I flubbed my lines during my audition for the drama to be a drama major, but I still got accepted for that department as well because of the way that I handled my flub. I'm just saying that you can.
There are variables. There are variables. It's not etched in stone. You know what I mean? In a tryout, and I'm glad you brought that up because in a tryout, it's not necessarily who's the quote unquote best. You're trying out for what they want. What they want and what you are willing to give or what you can give are not always on the same page. We're holding tryouts for what we want. Your man is holding tryouts for what he wants. My girl is holding tryouts for what she wants. Hopefully, we're on the same page when it comes to that. And hopefully, we're not offended by having to try out for each other. Hopefully, we tried out for each other and we both passed the tryouts. No, listen, we're closing down tryouts for the day. No more tryouts for today. Come back tomorrow. Little they know, ain't gonna be no tomorrow. Tomorrow we're expecting a blizzard. Like, yo, but it was sunny, 75 degrees. You know, it's just like when they say that school is shutting down. We got to shut it down. It's a snow day. And there ain't no tomorrow. But yeah, you know, like, I don't know why this is so funny. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, this topic is starting to come alive for me. I don't know what's happening here. but yeah, we do tryouts all the time. We do, you know. But I think that's an important point that we need to make. You're trying out for what somebody wants. Everybody can't pass those tryouts. They can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody can't do it. So we can't always get caught up in our emotions about having to try out. You know, because we can't say on one hand, yeah, I sure would like some of that. I would do something. I would do whatever it took in order to get with her or him or whatever. But when the her or him sets the standards for getting with them, we're like, man, you ain't all that. That's like when the girl walked by the group of boys. At first, it was like, oh, what's up, shorty? Hey, yo, let me holler at you for a minute. Like, nah, you know, I don't have time right now. Plus, I got a man. Oh, bitch. Yo, bum ass. Yo, anyway, I bet you that twat stink. Like, what? What just happened here? What just, you know?
Yes, I know.
What just happened?
I do know.
You know? You ain't none of that. You know what I mean? You take that horse head, you take that ponytail, guys. You lucky out there. Man, let me throw a bottle at this bitch. You know.
Oh my.
You
Listen, that really happened to me.
Listen,
Just that.
rejected niggas are
Through a
cruel.
bottle.
Rejected niggas are cruel.
Yo, he threw a bottle at me, bro.
Yo, I'm sorry that happened to you. It wasn't me.
No, but women, he looked like you.
Hey,
Look
chill.
really he has a real summer. Then we were about to fight. It was crazy. He threw that bottle. He was so mad. He used to say hi to me every day as I left night school. And I would always be polite. I wasn't one, I've never been one of those women, um, who would be like, man, get out of my face. I'm not one of those. And he goes, he was being nice, so I was being nice. I said, how you doing? Have a good day. Go about my business. He's playing dice on the freaking corner as I'm trying to, graduate high school. and and listen, he was fine. He was fine. It wasn't that he was ugly either, but he was playing dice. He was shooting. You know what I mean? He was shooting dice. And I realized I made myself corny by saying playing dice instead of shooting dice. But anyway, yeah, he threw that bottle. And I turned around. He was like, "What you going to do?" And I took one big step towards him, and he was like, "Oh my God, you are so hot right now."
You know what? I can't.
And I was like,
I can't.
"That's what." Like everybody.
This is where it all started.
Oh.
This is why we are as a society that we are today. That incident. I'm going to blame that one. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's what. Who can disagree with me? Like
Nobody.
that's it. That's how we got. I don't know what year that happened, but that's how we got to 2022. Right there. Right there. I bet you that dude, wherever he is right now, I bet you he has no idea of how he affected the world with that action right there.
I agree.
Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying earlier in the show, audition or tryout ain't a problem when we know that we're overqualified. We know, like, no problem. I got this. But it's when it's like, yo, such and such might beat me on a technicality. You know what I mean? That's when it starts to get a little uncomfortable.
That's my life. That's my life with all these twerking requirements.
Oh, Lord.
Because I'm not even trying to be funny.
Yo, you ain't lying.
As a woman these days, as a single woman, out in these streets, and you're dating, and guys are like, oh, show me your titties during a video call. What are you talking about? Or, can you make it clap? Yes. Okay, cool. Mom can twerk some. I don't know how to twerk. They be like,
Listen, I'm seeing chicks twerk that wasn't twerking before. That's all I got to say. I'm 52 years old. I'm seeing
they weren't twerking before.
Because I seen them not twerking before. Now they twerking. I'm like, you twerking now? Well, no, I don't know. What?
There are master classes of twerking. I kid you not.
The internet sucks.
Not YouTube though.
It sucks. It sucks too. You know what I mean? I got that as a quote. I was looking at a YouTube video the other day, and and the guy, the blogger, he was talking about how on the internet, they can take one thing that you say and then they can edit it and make it look like you were trying to say a whole totally different thing. And he said, and after that, he said, man, I hate the internet. And I bust out laughing when he said it, because it was so eloquent, the way that he described, why he felt the way he did. And it was like he knew it was going to come. Like, watch, they going to take what I just said and twist it and blah blah blah. And he said, I hate the internet. And you know how certain people edit their videos, so you can tell the part where they might have messed up and they cut it. But so when he finishes one sentence, it goes right into the next sentence, and it didn't exactly fit, but it was perfect how he did it. You know what I mean? How he edited it. I was like, I even wrote in the comments, like, yo, the best part of this video was when he said, I hate the internet. And it was perfectly edited. And he liked my comment. He knew what I was talking about. I was like, that's my motto for this week. I hate the internet. The internet sucks, boy. Because this is where you can make anything you want to happen. But I'm in an audition right now. They made me get 1,000 subscribers before I could get these super chats. I bet you I did it. I went through that whole tryout. It took years. It took years. You understand what I'm saying? Years of trying out every season. Every season, I'm like, all right, yeah. This year, gonna do it. Gonna do it. Yep, gonna make the team. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it was an understood thing. It was something that I wanted. The whole time I'm buying all this equipment. I got all these lights. I got all of these microphones. I got all this audio equipment. I got things that make noise and all of this stuff. I've invested in myself. Signs and all that kind of stuff. It was all a tryout. They didn't let me in because I got none of this stuff. They said they set the standard. You got to have 1,000 followers. You got to have so many people actively watching your shows, and then you can make some money. It's a job. It's the same. It's no different. It's no different than if I went to go apply for a position at a job. No different. They set the standards. I could have said, man, forget YouTube. Shoot. That little bit of money, I don't care. No, I ain't do that. I said, no. I want it bad enough. Shoot, I ain't doing that with my time anyway. Let's go. We're going to do it. So why wouldn't I submit to something like that for something in my personal life? Is the woman that I'm dealing with not worthy of me trying out for her, auditioning for her? I mean, respectfully, she shouldn't make me try out for years. She shouldn't make me have to secure my spot. She shouldn't bring in another man to be like, you've been falling down on the job, so you know what I mean? Dave over here. Dave over here, Dave, six-figure Dave. Dave over here is just going, hang out. You know what I'm saying? See how things are going. That's my friend Dave. My friend, not yours. My friend. So I don't know if things are ever going to culminate between me and Dave, but Dave is here to keep you honest. Because you used to take me out. Now you don't want to go nowhere. You used to keep yourself groomed, and you've been a little messy, a little stinky. You used to whisper sweet nothings to me. Now you'd be like, what up? You know what I'm saying? Like, so Dave is just here to, you know what I'm saying, Dave know how to do what you used to do.
Where's Dave?
Dave is at Wendy's. Rumor has it he passed years ago, but it's not true. It's not true. Dave is the two. Dave is the Tupac and Elvis of fast food. Shit. He faked his own death. Oh man! All right, listen. It's been a joy and a pleasure to have you on. We're about to get out of here and do these birthday shout outs, but thanks for coming through and bestowing your knowledge and experience upon us. It's always a pleasure to talk to you when you come through. It's always an enjoyable experience. So you have a great one. Real great, you know what I'm saying?
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right, peace.
Uh,
Good stuff right there. Good. Excellent. 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 We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious, glorious, glorious October 15th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Tara Better. Happy birthday to you, Tara. And also, my girl, Chandra Thomas. Happy birthday to you, Chandra. And Kedra. Happy birthday to you, Kedra. Turning 33 years old today. And also, Bruce Sobers. Happy birthday to you. And Keith Hoke, turning 66 years old today. And Tina Nwulu, turning, I don't know why Africans are always be trying to say that they're 100 and something years old. What am I supposed to figure this out? Okay, it's all good. And also
90 seconds.
Arsha, the real me Wooten, turning 46 years old today. And Akil Moody, happy birthday to you. And my man, last but not least, Simone Mitchell, happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious October 15th. I hope that today finds you a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, to rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen. When you have to do a tryout, we try out for things that we want. We try out for things that we think will benefit us. And we don't normally have a problem with trying out or auditioning when we know that there is a tryout period
10 seconds.
or an audition that we have to perform. When we know that we have to try out, that we have to audition, we know that we have to prepare. We know that we have to get ourselves ready. We know that we have to do whatever is necessary in order to get us in position to be able to fare well in the next to the competition. And when it is a proposed, understood contractual thing, we don't seem to have a problem with it. But when it comes to our personal lives, where we feel like we have more autonomy. You know what? I wish that the caller was still here. I should have asked her if the autonomy that we feel in our personal lives is really true. Are we as free to do what we want to do in our personal lives as we say that we do? We know that at work, we got to do what our bosses tell us to do. Whatever the company requires, we got to do it. many of us don't want to wear a uniform. The job says in order to work here, you got to wear a uniform. No uniform, no job. We wear the uniform. In our personal lives, we say I can dress the way I want to. I can do whatever I want to. But can we? Can we? Is it implied that we can do whatever we want to in our personal lives, or is it veiled? I think we should probably address that situation maybe tomorrow. Are we as free in our personal lives as we say we are? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Let me know. Let me know. We can set it up for tomorrow because there will be a show tomorrow. Oh, yeah, there's going to be a show tomorrow coming through. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. But yeah, man, a tryout and an audition. If you find yourself in a new position where you have to try out an audition, I would say just, make sure that if you deem it to be worth it, just make sure that you come with your best self. Determine what the worth and value of your involvement is. If you find that getting that prize is worth it, then give it your all. And if you have decided that it ain't really all that, she ain't really all that, he ain't really all that, that's not really all that, well, then you make the decision governing that too. But make sure that whatever you go for is what you actually want. Don't let your peers and other people make that decision for you. We will be back tomorrow, but I want to thank y'all for coming through today. Yes, I do. So Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Oh, yes, yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boop. Hold on, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And thank you